Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Welcome everyone, I'm Whitney Ward. Our top story tonight, 5 more people have died from COVID-19 in Grant County, bringing the total number of deaths there to 125. And one of the 5 who died was a Moses Lake man who was only in his 20s.
Grant County has a higher death rate than Spokane County, and it has one of the lowest vaccination rates in the entire state. KREM 2's Casey Decker spoke with health officials there about the challenges they're now facing and how they're working to overcome them.
5 deaths may not seem like a lot on face value, but in a smaller county like Grant, those carry a lot of weight.
Every death is pretty impactful in our community, particularly when we look at those ages. It's a wide range of ages. So, I know that the community might be a little bit numb to it, but with each death, there's a story behind that person in that case.
Especially alarming the 20-something who died. A reminder that although the virus is typically more damaging with older adults, its real impact can seem truly random.
We see some young folks with very mild symptoms. We see some folks that have fevers for 7 days straight. And you don't know if you'll be that person that ends up just being wiped out by it, or if you'll be one of those mild cases.
The best way to combat that randomness, of course, is the vaccine. But Grant County is lagging in that area. Only 27% of the population is fully immunized, compared to 37% statewide. Lena Mitchell with the health district says one reason, demographics. Grant County leans younger and has lots of people who only recently became eligible. But another reason, vaccine hesitancy.
We have pockets of the community where they're not anti-vaxxers. They do believe in vaccines. They vaccinated their kids to get into school. They vaccinated themselves. They might get a flu shot every year. But somewhere along the way, there was some piece of information about the COVID-19 vaccine that just jarred them. And so we're working on acknowledging that, legitimizing their concern, and hopefully meeting them where they're at with appropriate information and education.
There are also lots of agricultural workers, making up nearly a quarter of Grant County's jobs, and a lot of people whose first language is not English. More than a third speak another language at home. Both are groups who may not have easy access to healthcare and so therefore to the vaccine. That's why the health district is running pop-up clinics across the county.
Areas where they might be underserved with medical care, or areas where we know that they might not seek out care, they might not have a primary care provider. So with taking our team to that specific site or that workplace, we're hopefully making it more accessible to them.
Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
Meantime, over in North Idaho, Kootenai Health is seeing a surge in COVID-19 patients. As of this morning, they had 27 COVID-19 patients, 6 of which were in critical care. Leaders also say the spike started around the same time that Governor Brad Little moved the state to phase 4 a couple of weeks ago. Health officials believe vaccine hesitancy is one of the main reasons behind the spike. According to Kootenai Health's chief of staff, they are seeing more young people needing medical attention for COVID-19.
We are seeing severely affected young people, which we hadn't seen as much previously. We had seen a lot of over 65 in our ICU. Now we're seeing anywhere between 20 and 65.
He also says the presence of COVID-19 variants that have higher transmission rates, such as the UK variant, may be behind the spike. Coming up new at 6 tonight, we have more on what Kootenai Health says is behind the surge and what they're doing to try to combat it.
In the meantime, here in Spokane County, the regional health district is reporting 113 new cases today, but no new deaths were reported. Currently, 77 people are hospitalized due to the virus.
Kroger, which is the parent company of Fred Meyer and QFC, has announced that fully vaccinated customers and most employees will no longer need to wear masks starting tomorrow. The company said in a statement, quote, based on the CDC's science-based guidance and the input of our associates, we are updating our mask policy in a way that balances our values of safety and respect, unquote. The company says this applies to stores, distribution centers, plants, and offices unless otherwise required by state or local mandates.
As the towns of Malden and Pine City continue to rebuild, preparing for this year's wildfire season is fresh on everyone's mind.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley went there today to find out how the communities are gearing up for yet another fire season.
The people of Malden and Pine City lost everything in the Babb Road wildfire. Their homes, a sense of safety, and precious memories. So to prevent a loss like this happening again, the towns are arming themselves for the upcoming wildfire season.
I'm actually really nervous and scared. We've had no rain and everything is so dry.
Pine City resident Christy Reek is worried about the next fire that might hurt her community, and she has every reason to be.
We lost our garage, our shop, and our guest house. Thank God that we did not lose our house, but it was very close. If my husband didn't come back at the time that he did, then we wouldn't have our house.
This year, she is not taking any chances with wildfires, especially since she plans to work on harvest this year.
I have a huge Costco to-go box that I probably will be in my car during harvest. We just keep watering our yard constantly and just praying that nothing will ever happen like this again.
So are you worried about wildfires this year? Are you worried about Malden?
Yes. 2014, the town of Pateros was burned by wildfire. 2015, the town of Pateros had another fire. We're no different than anyone else. We need to take as much proactive care as we can.
Malden's mayor, Dan Harwood, says the community has already taken several steps preparing for the next wildfire. In December, Commissioner Hillary Franz delivered a fire engine to replace the one Malden lost in the Babb Road fire. Once the truck gets radios, lights, and a few more nozzles, it will be ready to be used.
It'll be 1 or 2 more weeks and we will have that truck operational.
Earlier this month, Spokane Valley Fire Department donated one of its retired fire engines to the Malden Volunteer Fire Department. In fact, just today, Malden's fire department sticker was put on the engine.
That is the most amazing truck that I've ever seen, but it will be able to be put into service fairly soon.
Malden also recently received a $3.7 million grant from the Washington Commerce Public Works Board. Harwood says that money will be used to put in a second well and about 8,000 feet of new water lines for additional fire hydrants.
How will this help with firefighting efforts?
Water, water, water.
Harwood is hopeful with more volunteers and new equipment, Malden will be in a better position this year to fight off wildfires.
It takes time to bring this all together, but it's moving forward.
In Malden, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
And we want to give you a quick sneak peek now at another story that we are working on for you tomorrow, getting the Inland Northwest's biggest utility company ready for wildfire season. I asked Avista what it takes to be ready for a summer that is already expected to be hot, dry, and potentially dangerous. I learned weather is often the big unknown and the most difficult challenge.
We've seen the impacts of some recent wind events even this year. During the summer, it's a bit of a combination. Wind is definitely a driver, but also the amount of moisture in the fuels. And this year we're seeing much drier conditions, so those are a concern.
Coming up tomorrow night at 6, you'll hear more about the possibility of rolling blackouts, plus how you as a consumer could be affected if the power goes out this summer. That's tomorrow night right here on KREM 2 News at 6. And we got a little bit of rain today, certainly much needed given the wildfire forecast, and it sounds like we could get even more rain tomorrow. Tom Sherry is joining us now to explain how much rain we can expect. Tom?
Yeah, it looks like maybe only about 1/10 of an inch of rain tomorrow, and we did get some moisture today, certainly cooler temperatures, although right now I have picked a great spot to be out here in the backyard because we've got blue sky and sunshine, but I look farther over to the western horizon and I can see more dark clouds with some showers there. So again, look for rain at times tonight and again tomorrow. Cooler weather, daytime highs only in the mid-50s expected on your Thursday, and then by the time we get into next week, we'll see 70-degree temperatures return. Right now, we're only at 51 degrees, as you can see, and you can see out towards the Lake City and Coeur d'Alene, we've got some dark conditions out there as well. Plenty of rain. The green indicates where we're seeing the rain falling right now. You can see it well to the south of Spokane, east of Spokane, and then out in areas of central Washington, just not right in the Spokane area as of yet. That's a closer view, and again, you can see those showers. For the most part, a lot of them are tracking from the east to the west. So look for an overnight low of 41 degrees, a chance of more rain tomorrow, widespread rain and much cooler. Daytime highs only expected in the mid-50s. It hasn't been overly windy today, but I do think we'll see wind gusts by tomorrow morning once again, up around 30 miles per hour. For the weekend, I've got dry weather on Saturday and 67, 68 degrees expected on Sunday with a slight chance of rain. I'll have the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Well, even with the rain, it is officially farmers market season, and the Kendall Yards Night Market returned tonight. So coming up, everything you need to know about this event that will run through the summer. Regina Ahn is joining us live next.